Fox News will always Fox News. Recall this.
We're going to create a new banner. This is a Jum Doc alert.
Pause for 1 sec. She can't call dumb jocks Jum Docs. Don't believe me?
We're going to create a new banner. This is a Jum Doc alert.
She said it. But it was, of course, more than that.
Must they run their mouths like that? And it's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. Oh, and LeBron and Kevin, you're great players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
An insane take, let's be clear, but one that remains a constant.
Kaepernick, I would love to have a conversation with Kaepernick. It's about division. He's anti-American, he's a Marxist at the end of the day.
Peaceful protests, frankly, in my mind, justifiable, understandable.
Peaceful protest is the hallmark of a free society. We all know that.
And the people that want to peacefully protest, I'm all for it. I'd be out there protesting too.
You did own a professional football team. What would you do with Colin Kaepernick?
I don't think I'm going to tell you what I do.
You don't stand up in the middle of our workplace and start creating chaos because we get fired.
But they're not creating chaos.
That's chaos.
So why is this a big deal? Why is it, in the end, dangerous for this country?
These acts of protest are beyond disrespectful.
He's trying to make a point, but I don't think he's making it the correct way. I think what he's doing is very bad for the spirit of the country.
Just because something is legal doesn't mean you ought to do it.
Colin Kaepernick gives money to terrorists.
Using the excuse of Black Lives Matter or some other issue that they probably haven't even read up on. They just repeat whatever Colin Kaepernick says on any given day.
So look at the people he's donated money to. These are radicals in many cases, very anti-American, ethnocentrically racist black organizations, and again, built on a lie.
It is a myth that police are brutalizing black people.
But when then NFL quarterback Drew Brees says something...
Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America.
Suddenly our athletes can have a take.
Well, he's allowed to have his view about what kneeling and the flag means to him. I mean, he's a person. He has some worth, I would imagine. I mean, this is beyond football, though.
Shocking? Not really. This is who they are.
Good reporting. I think two things about this. The tickets are extremely expensive to go see her. I know, because you know my Bella's 16th birthday, that's what she wanted. She's a huge Taylor Swift fan. And if we're going to pay that much money as consumers, you don't need to serve up politics for that. It's divided us as such a nation. Why can't you go to a concert without that? She can vote any kind of way she wants. She can talk about it off stage. But when people pay to see you, just perform.
So was it any surprise they would do the same with Taylor Swift? Of course not. No.
I think it would be unwise. She can make her decision, but you're going to isolate people.
Obviously, you think so. It's because this movement of Republicans, the MAGA movement, like this, specifically Kayleigh McEnany that you see right here, who served as Donald Trump's press secretary, knows what this endorsement could potentially do. And now they're on defense, launching the same exact attack that we have seen over the years, the shut up and dribble line, except now it's shut up and sing, which I gotta say, if Fox News were to stand on this logic, why is Gene Simmons, the frontman of KISS, sitting in on Fox and Friends, giving political opinions, or even doing the weather, or giving opinions on, I don't know, healthcare reform?
The leaders of California, the acting criminals.
Or model Fabio. Yes, Fabio, weighing in on the state of California. Shouldn't he just shut up and model by the network standards? Yeah, if they were keeping it real. If they were showing any semblance of consistency.
Well, we felt that President Obama tried his very best. It just wasn't good enough. We realized that our freedom is in jeopardy in our country today.
So, just to be clear, by their standards of Taylor Swift, LeBron James, Colin Kaepernick, this interview should have never happened. No, nor should this have ever happened. Or this should have never happened. or even this should have never happened. But here we are. Former pro tennis player and U.S. Open champion Andy Roddick would tweet, "Imagine someone telling Taylor Swift how/what to perform at her own show. Imagine telling her to shut up and dribble, but also asking Scott Baio/Ted Nugent about campaign strategy on air." That's a bar, and he is right.
If they do debate, how do you think Trump should handle her?
Okay. I love Trump. I hope he wins because I believe in the simple things in our country. Trump, and I'm gonna parrot you, Jesse. Policy, policy, policy. That's it. There's no name calling. There's no making fun of anything. When he gives his speeches at these rallies, policy. Period. Once he goes off the rails, it becomes confusing, and I wish I could talk to him and say, just stick to policy, because you own every policy that's out there. You own every issue, and he knows that, but he's got to just stick to that.
I also need to be clear. Actually, I'll get to Scott Baio in a second. From Newsweek, in an October 2020 interview with V Magazine, the singer would say she was proudly voting for President Joe Biden because she believed the United States had a chance to, quote, start the healing process it so desperately needs under his leadership. She would go on to say this: "The change we need most is to elect a president who recognizes that people of color deserve to feel safe and represented, that women deserve the right to choose what happens to their bodies, and that the LGBTQIA+ community deserves to be acknowledged and included." Lastly, from the singer, "Everyone deserves a government that takes global health risks seriously and puts the lives of its people first. The only way we can begin to make things better is to choose leaders who are willing to face these issues and find ways to work through them." Again, they are making me defend Taylor Swift. And here's where I have an issue. If she's talking about, global health risks, she should probably look into how detrimental it is to all of our health that she takes the flights she does flying private, and how it affects climate change, which is, of course, leading to a domino effect that is quite dire if you look at the science and also follow the scientists who are trying to ring the alarm, whether it is through studies, papers, interviews, protests, what have you. But let's go back to Harris Faulkner's point, and Fox News in general and as a whole. Anyone is allowed to say what they like. It doesn't mean that there are, one of a few things, potentially consequences for your actions if it's hate speech, or just being fact-checked if it's wrong, or someone else showing the inverse of an opinion. My whole thing is everyone should be allowed to do it. They should not be calling. I hate this term because I don't think it exists, but they should not be calling for someone to be, in their eyes, canceled because they have a different opinion. There should be room for fact-checking. There should be room for understanding. There should be room for growth. Scott Baio saying what he did on Fox News, I'm not mad at it. What I would say is, let me pay attention to what he's saying and let me actually dig deep into the information of why this is accurate or not accurate. That is the whole thing, at least for me. But for them, they see somebody who could potentially affect their chances of taking the White House. And they don't want these people having a platform. They don't want these people speaking up. They want them to just be viewed as artist, musician, athlete, football player, rugby player, painter. They don't want them to have, they want to limit what these people say and how they think, because when someone has influence like this, that is what they fear. Unless, of course, it's on their time and they agree with it. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.